This episode is brought to you by Indie Film Hustle TV, the world's first streaming service dedicated to filmmakers, screenwriters, and content creators. Learn more at indiefilmhustle.tv.
Let's hear it for Tom Holland! The man himself!
What's up, everyone? How we doing? I haven't done this in a while, so I'm very nervous. Wow.
There are no fans like this in the world. How does this feel to be back?
Guys, this is incredible. This is incredible. Thank you for such a warm welcome. I love you! Is everybody excited?
Should we get this trailer going?
I think we should. Listen, this movie isn't just the culmination of my Spider-Man era. We have villains coming from 3 different universes, reprising their roles, bringing them back to life. For me, as an actor and as a huge fan of Spider-Man, it has been such a massive pleasure performing in this film and working with these legends. I honestly cannot wait for you to see the film. There are so many surprises, so many get up your feet, stamp your feet moments in this film. And honestly, the fact that you guys have been here, I heard that some of you have been queuing up since 9 a.m. this morning, means the world to me. So thank you so much. It is my pleasure to debut the second trailer for Spider-Man No Way Home. Roll the clip!
Let's hear it! I gotta quote a very important person. Dude, you're Spider-Man.
Yeah.
How's that feel?
It's amazing. I mean, I got cast when I was 18. I remember I was in my garden and I got a call from Kevin Feige and it changed my life forever. And to be here today, showing you the trailer, this movie exceeds expectation in every way possible. This is the most cinematic and theatrical superhero movie that has ever been made. And I'm proud to say that Sony and Marvel have pulled off the impossible. It has been a roller coaster. It was tough. It was brutal. I hurt myself, and not on purpose. I was fighting people, the Goblin, and it's just been incredible. And to see your enthusiasm, it means the world to me. And thank you.
Yeah. Now, this trailer, this is the culmination of the whole trilogy, and it launches a whole possibility zeitgeist shift. What's it like to watch the trailer for you having lived it?
It's really overwhelming. It's really overwhelming. I mean, you make these films and you're so attached to it and you give your heart and soul and you dedicate your life to this character, and to see it play out on the big screen is so rewarding. And to see your reaction means that we're doing something right. And trust me when I say that that is the tip of the iceberg. There is so much more in this movie. You will be on your feet, you'll be screaming, and I honestly, I want to tell you everything, but I can't. Someone over there will kill me.
Now we've got a full concert vibe here, which I love. There we go. There we go. Okay, now I have some questions from fans both here and in Mexico City. We're gonna start in Mexico City.
Okay.
I'm gonna follow your lead. You wanna stand or sit? You feeling comfy?
I'm gonna stand.
I'm feeling the energy. It feels weird to sit.
I can't sit. I'm too excited.
Okay, we're gonna start. If Mexico City can hear me, we're gonna start with Ileana Pina Ramirez. I love this question. What are you hoping to teach young Marvel fans through your character?
That with great power comes great responsibility.
That's why he's Spider-Man.
You know, the world's changing. Everyone has a voice, and we have a responsibility to do the right thing and help out our neighbor and look after one another. And that's exactly what Spider-Man stands for. So with great power comes great responsibility.
The answer. All right, we've got another one in Mexico City from Jurgen Rocha Anvia, who asks, what has been your favorite villain to go face-to-face with in the entire Marvel Cinematic Universe?
The problem is they're all my friends, so I don't want to... I think my favorite has to be Alfred Molina, Doc Ock. Working with him on this film was so fun because he was so blown away by the improvement with all the technological advancements that filmmaking has made. You know, back in the day, I think it was 2002 when he made his Spider-Man movie. 2004, thank you.
You're
hired.
This is the room.
The arms that he used to have were puppeteered by 4 different people. And nowadays, obviously, we don't do that anymore because it's very time consuming. So it's all done with CG. And watching him be very free as Doc Ock was really kind of rewarding, because back in the day, if he wanted to go over here, he'd have to tell 4 different people, guys, I'm going to step over here, and then you follow me, and then you get this one to do that. So to see him kind of have the freedom to bring Doc Ock back to life in a new way was amazing. But then also, Fred is one of the greatest people I've ever worked with. So for me, working with Fred was a real honor. And I think I can say this now because he's in the trailer, but Willem Dafoe. That was, I remember my first rehearsal. I was with Harry, and we went to the soundstage. And I can talk about this, right? He's in the trailer. Okay. And
there's a collective like when.
Yeah, my whole body just went, oh, I'm gonna die.
That's why we're standing.
But the first rehearsal I had with him was pretty surreal. It was pretty surreal for reasons I can't really talk about because I want you to experience it in the theater. It was pretty incredible, and he's a wonderful guy, and he put me to shame. You should see how good at yoga he is, man. Yeah, he's incredible.
Now, as someone who grew up in this world, what was it like meeting Dafoe for the first time, Lena for the first time, just you as an individual? What was that like? How do you process that?
Yeah, it was actually a funny story when I met Willem for the first time, because obviously at that time, all of the villains in the film, it was a huge secret that they were in the film. So they would walk around set with these cloaks on. And naturally, you know, these guys were very excited to be coming back and bringing these roles back to life, that they came to set a week before they started shooting to just see what it was like, meet John, meet myself, hang out on set and have a good time. And I just sort of bumped into this guy in a cloak and was like, watch out, mate. And he took his hood off, and I almost like got really scared. I was like, oh, goblins here. But he was lovely. He was really wonderful and a real joy to work with. There's a story that I would love to tell, but I just cannot tell yet. But I will do, and you will hear it one day. It's very exciting. But again, it was incredible. It was mind-blowing.
Remember this moment. We'll call in that story. It'll be like, that was the one.
Oh, you'll hear it.
All right, we're going to go to our LA audience here. We've got, I loved this. This is from Liz, who very specifically said, from New York, but visiting LA. And I feel like that's
nice.
A Spider-Man moment. Like, you're like, by the way, I'm from the land of Spidey. All right, we've got, if you could choose one scene from playing Peter Parker to reshoot and experience again, what would you choose?
I can't talk about it. There's one scene, well, there's 2 scenes in this film. Well, there's 3 scenes. There's 3 scenes. And I would do anything to go back and reshoot them. They're perfect and they don't need to be reshot. But the experience on the day of being there, this true moment in cinematic history is about to come true. And we were there on the day making it happen. And it was crazy. It was crazy. And I would love to tell you, because honestly, you would look, I've got some people saying, no, do you want to know? I'll tell you only. No, but it was amazing. And I really think you guys will be proud of what John Watts and what Kevin Feige and Amy Pascal and Tom Rothman and all of our producers have put together and managed to accomplish. Because honestly, when they first pitched me the movie, I was like, that's never going to work. There's no way you're going to be able to get that done. And they did. And they did an amazing job.
I gotta say, man, lifelong Spider-Man fan, to see your reverence for this room, to see your emotion about this experience, and to hear this moment, those days on set, did it feel like, was there a palpable historic moment? Did you feel that on the day as well as reflecting on it here?
Yeah, it actually took everyone involved a while to get over what was happening. It was mental.
I don't want to know, so I'm gonna wait, but I'm gonna remember this moment. All right, we've got one in LA from Francis Dominic asking, what is your most surreal moment while filming? Maybe one you can share. From the
most
two.
Surreal experience from the first 2.
We'll go there, it's safer.
Oh, well, I can
now
talk about those all day
on
long.
Blu-ray.
Let me try and think about this one. I can talk about this so much. I think for me, and you guys are gonna be like, oh, we've heard this story. But when I first met Jake on set, and he came to set for Spider-Man 2, and he had like, not a meltdown, but he was a little bit nervous at the way Marvel make movies, and it's very different to anything anyone has ever experienced outside of that world. And I remember looking up to one of my idols. You know, he's one of my favorite actors, and being like, it's okay, man. Like, we can figure this out together, and
You can fly.
Yeah, you can fly. You're Mysterio. Wait, you're not Mysterio? So that was pretty surreal. Again, guys, listen, I'd love to tell you everything. You know I would. But I can't.
Actually, you know what? On that moment, there's this amazing clip of you like soothsaying. There's a moment of you talking about like Jake's your favorite actor and you want to do this.
Yeah.
And you have this thing where you're like, I'm going to manifest that. When you first had a conversation with Jake, was there a part of you that was like, how did I do this? Because it keeps happening.
Yeah, because how did it work with Jake? We were like, I remember saying to this, they asked me, who would you want to work with? And I said, Jake Gyllenhaal. And then 2 days later, Zendaya and I went to Crossroads, and Jake walked in and joined us. I was like, this is weird. And then the following day, he went to have lunch with John Watts at Crossroads, and while he was pitching the movie, all the lights cut out. Like, how Mysterio is that? But yeah, I mean, I manifested being in Spider-Man. Like, when I was, 13 years old, I was on a red carpet, and they asked me, who would you play? And I said, I'd love to be Spider-Man. And now I'm about to release the third one. So yeah, it's been crazy, man.
The moment I saw you carrying a DVD player, I knew you were Spider-Man. Took no time.
Right.
At that moment, I was like, man, they did it.
Nice.
And it's beautiful to see. We're going to go back to Mexico City with Ramon Ramirez Malvarez, who asks, now knowing what you know, how important is it to never reveal the identity of a superhero?
These questions, man. Now knowing what I know. I mean, it's interesting. I always feel like Peter Parker has kind of had some sort of parallel with my life and what's going on. And it's no secret that when this happens to you, your life changes, and there are certain things that you can't do anymore. And this film kind of explores the adverse effects of fame and what happens to someone, especially at a young age, how it can affect your life for better or for worse. And, you know, I've had a wonderful experience because you guys have been so gracious and wonderful and looked after me as fans. But there are people out there who haven't had the same experience, and Peter Parker, unfortunately, is going through that.
What would you do knowing now what it's like to have an identity revealed? Like, what's the cautionary feel?
I always think that if you want to tell someone something, you should tell them yourself. I think when the power is taken away from you, you know, whether it's a secret you want to tell someone, if they find out on their own, it's always so much worse. You need to just be honest and let people know. So I think if Peter Parker had made an announcement, like an I am Iron Man sort of moment, it would have been a little bit easier for him.
We've got one more in Mexico City. I'm hoping we have a connection there. This is Maria Jose Carranza Soto. A fantastic question of, over the years, a lot of people have played Peter Parker. What do you think you've imprinted on the role and character?
This is really tough, man. I think for me, my biggest thing when coming into this world was to really, really hone in on the sort of youthfulness of what it means to be a teenager. You know, I really wanted to lean into the idea that this is a 15-year-old superhero. That meaning there are lots of stuff that you'll see throughout the films where Peter Parker does everyday things, but in a way that Spider-Man would do them. And I think that's really interesting because you all know if we were Spider-Man and you were sitting on the TV and the remote was too far away, you'd web the remote and fling it back. So for me, making Peter Parker really youthful and authentic and a real teenager, a real high schooler, was really important. And I think John Watts did a great job of bringing that to life. So for me, I think the one thing that I was able to bring, and albeit I was a teenager at the time, was making him very youthful.
I love that, man. These are great questions. Mexico City.
Thank you.
We've got another one from LA. We've got Luke. And Luke, where we got Luke in here? Luke, stand up for us. There's
What
Luke.
up, Luke?
Great shirt, man. Luke asks, what was the hardest day of filming and why? All of these are things I feel like he can't tell us. What was the hardest
day of filming? There's one fight scene in this film. You're going to see a style of fighting in this film that you've never seen in the Spider-Man movie before. And, you know, that was down to our stunt coordinator, George Cottle, and Jackson. They designed these fights to shock you guys, to really put you on your back foot. And when we were shooting this one scene in particular, it's like a sort of, I reckon it's a 35-beat fight scene between myself and one of the villains. And we shot it over and over and over again over 3 or 4 days. And I remember my knuckles were all bloody and I was knackered and we were fighting and fighting. And in all fairness, it was awful. It was it was such a difficult time, but in the film, it's so spectacular and it is so overwhelming. And you've never seen Peter Parker quite like it. And I'm really excited to see what you guys think.
Our last one here from LA. We've got Taya. Taya, stand up for us. All right. Yeah.
Hi, Taya.
All right, I love this question. What is your favorite characteristic of Spider-Man?
Peter Parker. I know that doesn't make sense, but it does. Spider-Man's biggest superpower is Peter Parker, and that's because of his humility. That's what sets him apart from the rest, is that he's unable to not do the right thing. And for me, as an actor, bringing that to life has been so fun, because it's sometimes incredibly frustrating. Sometimes I read these scripts or I perform these scenes, and I just want Peter Parker to be selfish, just one time. So for me, it's his humility, and therefore Peter Parker. Thank you, guys. Thank you, everyone in Mexico. I appreciate it. I'm sorry I can't be there.
Mexico City, please give it up. We're going to say bye to Mexico City's feed. You guys have been amazing. Thank you so much.
Thank you, guys.
All right. And back here in the room, LA, let's hear it. You guys want a selfie?
From the bottom of my heart, thank you so much for coming today. It means the world to me. I cannot wait for you to see this film. It's only weeks away. This is the place to see it, in the theatre. Honestly, it will blow you away. And I know I'm supposed to say that because I'm in it, but trust me, I cannot wait. I honestly cannot wait. So thank you again for coming tonight. I hope this has been as exciting as it has been for me. And I'll see you next time, guys. Thank you so much.
Give it up for Tom Holland! Yeah.